Name didn't even come up for me yet, but I heard that. Yeah, and I know it's Kyle.
Yep.
I should refresh and see.
What are you talking about?
I refreshed and I still got Texas Hula.
Yeah, it's still showing
Same.
Texas Hula.
There
You
we
might
go.
have to type /unhost in chat. It happens to me all the time. Oh,
It
there we go.
usually fixes itself.
There
after
you
a
go.
second.
You got it. You're live. And I cannot be stopped. What is that music that you're playing? June. June.
Whatever it is, I like it.
It's cool. I want to find out what it is, but June's like in La La Land.
In the meantime, if you check June's server's general chat.
Oh, look. Oh, it's Mega Man.
Ah.
Now I recognize it. It's a cover of a Mega Man song. Oh, I saw Akira, yeah. They gave her aerial rave.
Right? And one of her V-triggers looks like it's pulling an assist.
I almost want to get Street Fighter V now.
I'll fight you.
I mean, I will learn it, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't play as her specifically because there's a few other characters that are interesting, but...
Who out of the cast has your eye?
I want to play Dan.
Dan's actually good.
Yeah, that's why Dan was
putting-
good. He was good in 4, so...
He was like sleeper good in 4. He's just straight good in 5.
Did
like,
you just seriously type work lurk into the chat, Kyle?
No. That was yesterday.
Yeah, it's loading messages from a past stream.
It literally just popped up.
So maybe you're watching yesterday's stream.
Oh my god, I think I am. We're watching a VOD, I think.
Well,
You might be somehow watching the VOD.
I refreshed
I
like
see the
5
stream.
times. Alright, let's hear it. No, it still just brings up the VOD. I'm having a hard time getting the actual... Okay, here it goes. Now it's showing you one way.
Okay, so
Wait.
you see that?
So that... Yeah, now I see it. Message. Massage! I'd play Ed, too, because he looks cool.
Ed's my main, and Ed is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I play Ed when I don't feel like trying hard on inputs, and then I play Balrog when I do.
Well, Balrog, he's not... there's no charge characters, right?
Oh, there are. No, there are.
I thought they got rid of all the charge characters.
They lessened them. They lessened both the number of charge characters and the number of multi-tap inputs, but they're still in. Balrog and Guile are still mostly charge characters, although they got rid of one of Balrog's charge moves, so he doesn't have any down-up charges.
Oh, okay, that's
That got changed to a DP motion, but he still has back forward punch roll kick.
Sea Viper is in there now.
No. Well, not yet. There's still one. There's one unannounced slot. We've got Rose and Akira coming after Dan, and then there's one more slot that they haven't said who it is yet.
Maximilian was saying after watching Rose and Akira and Oro going.
Oh, that's right, Oro as well.
Said, is it okay to be a Capcom fan and be excited about things again?
I mean, they've still been killing it with Monster Hunter too. I know.
Yeah, well, he meant like for fighting games.
For fighting games, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, but not. But only
I was
if it
not
means we
interested
eventually
at
go
all
there.
in Street Fighter V at launch, but now it's starting to look like a full game.
Yeah.
I was actually at Six Flags on a day when there was a demo of Street Fighter V for some reason. I don't know why it was at Six Flags, but it was like 2 weeks before launch. It was this big booth that had Street Fighter V demos, and anyone could just go in and play it.
That's cool.
Nice.
Is it me or we haven't... Oh, I was going to say, we haven't heard June say anything in like a long time.
Well, I was posting the thing for
Social media message.
Yeah, so okay, here we are.
Tits.
Yeah, so we are welcome to Gloomwave for March 2021. I know it's April, but we all plumb forgot about it last week, so we're doing it this week.
I didn't forget. I was felt like crap.
Well,
Yeah,
I also felt
it
like
was just
crap, and I forgot about it.
nobody forgot. It was just, do you want to do this? No, not really.
Yeah, last week was pretty terrible for everyone involved.
Hey, new meds suck
And
until you get used to them.
we have a special guest today.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got Teeth Buckle 99, who I'm given to understand just quit his job at Walmart today.
Yep, today was my last fucking day, and I never
Gave
have
it
to
the
step foot
finger
in that
on the
place
way out.
again.
For that laugh,
stuck up
for that laugh.
that finger real hard on my way out.
How do you? But tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
I-
you seem kind of vague there. Do you have any specific feelings about Walmart?
Honestly, if it was legal, I would burn the place down.
Fair enough.
I fucking hate most of the managers there. It's run horribly. I've been miserable. It's a nightmare being in that environment, and I do not feel safe.
I have
So-
I have a question for the rest of the room. When's the last time any of you have worked retail?
I never worked retail. I worked fast food.
I've
but I
worked
never
in the
worked,
restaurant business.
retail.
I bust tables for a restaurant.
Didn't you also work in a movie theater?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm willing to expand retail to any sort of customer service. Then,
Yeah, 'cause
they
I-
all have
I,
a lot of the same problems.
I worked in a deli and I worked in a Wendy's.
My last customer service job, if you count it, was help desk for a nonprofit organization. And it was really nice, and I had a lot of great people there, and everyone was super sweet. And then the pandemic happened, and they weren't willing to hire me back, so I had no choice but to find other work here in town. And the only place that got back to me within a reasonable time was Walmart. So
Yeah.
I'm
You were
like, you know
remember
what?
you were so different back then because you were like excited to get the job and you were like, I can't wait to start. And I'm just thinking like internally, I'm thinking, how long is it going to be before his spirit is completely broken?
I felt this. I felt the same way because I was working Starbucks not that long before I moved to the UK, and then I was working Ross before that, and it's bad. Those places are
Yeah.
horrible.
It's
I-
bad under normal circumstances. You throw
I
the
can't
pandemic
imagine how
into
much
it
worse
and-
it is with COVID.
Yeah.
It's fucking ugh.
So many anti-maskers and people that will be like, "Oh, I can't wear one. Oh, this executive order says that people with medical conditions don't have to wear one. Oh, my doctor says I don't have to wear it. Oh, I'm exempt." And I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? I'm not helping you. Back off."
Walmart has a curbside pickup thing. I mean, that's what I don't
Exactly.
get. Like, and they're really good at it, from my experience at least.
Yeah, we just started pushing the curbside service, so we no longer have the site to store inside, so it's now outside. They're trying to get people to do curbside on everything online, and they're encouraging other people to place online orders to do curbside because it's a lot safer and it means less time that they'll be spending in the store.
Yeah.
Well, now you can
And-
you can relax and watch the same 5 channels that'll have the same thing and have a nice cola Coke with your nerve noodles.
I think those cups
think those
are
are-
like coffee.
Yeah, I think those are coffee cups.
Nerve coffee, then whatever.
Yeah, I'm just sipping on my Smirnoff Ice because you know what? I gotta treat myself after
you-
that shit.
You're gonna get schmucked up during this, huh?
Kyle Unchained.
Well,
It's not
Kyle's
gonna-
you're a beanpole, so I can't imagine your alcohol tolerance is all that high.
I've had at least 2 and not been intoxicated. So
Yeah,
As long as
Kyle
you're
has
eating food and
never
staying
been
hydrated.
drunk. Meanwhile, I haven't been drunk in like 15 years.
The last time I was drunk was when I recorded that Metroid playthrough.
Oh my god.
Oh, do you remember FF7?
Well, that Jesse was blackout drunk when we did that because he had no idea. The next day, I was like, "Guess what? I'm uploading," and he's just like, "Oh, whatever, let's play." And I'm like, "No, it's you." And I record and like you recorded me last night. It's like, yeah, we already had this conversation, and I already asked you if it's okay to put it up, but I guess I should ask you now that you're sober. And he's like, "Is it funny?" And I'm like, "It's really funny." And he said, "If it's funny, put it up." I said, "So you don't remember anything? Do you remember falling down?" He says, "I fell down? No what?" And he goes, "No wonder my side hurts."
Okay. Want to know why I stopped drinking?
Why?
I mean, you just were over it, right? That's what I remember.
Because I reinstalled Dare Defeat Source, and I got to thinking, what if I did something really bad, like reinstall Natural Selection?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's
Yeah, so I stopped drinking so I wouldn't hurt myself like that anymore.
okay. So Kay has said, "Wait, who is this?" So maybe we should all introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Nah. Okay.
Okay. I am June Gloom. You're watching twitch.tv/Gloom and June. I'm the host of this show.
The host with the most.
Yeah. Next to me is Darkling Kitty. Kitty, say
Hi.
something. Yeah, that's Kitty, the best.
Aw.
Cat.
Yeah, and after that is NecroVMX.
Yeet.
Yeah, that's him. 20 years that I said. And finally, we have T-Sparkle
I'll host
99.
20 more.
Finally, we have T-Sparkle 99.
Ayo.
Oh, and also, I guess Kay was asking about the who from the story, not who. The
Oh,
voice,
Jesse.
but-
Yeah, not Jesse as in Felgoth. A Jesse that I know. You might have seen him in my stream as Armageddon Time.
Yeah.
And I probably spelled their name wrong, but it's all good.
You almost spelled it right.
Um,
No, you.
No,
you-
questions are important, Kay.
You weren't that far off. You almost spelled it right.
I think I got it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Although I think
Close enough.
his Twitch name might have like an underscore in it or something because
Yeah.
the one that he wanted was taken.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta tell you, I can't get over how many times I tried to register the name June Gloom and it's taken.
That's shitty. If anybody ever has any questions about either punk rock or Canada, go to Armageddon Time and he'll answer your questions.
Yeah. I have no questions about punk
Encyclopedia
rock.
of knowledge about both of those things. Like somebody in my Discord had like some sort of question about some Canadian law, and like Kitty, you were even like, I'm not sure, like I think
Yeah,
it's
I had
this
to-
way."
I had to look it up.
So I pinged Jesse, and he came in and explained it like beautifully. Like he's Mr. Canada.
I uprooted myself too soon to absorb the knowledge, like the great maple trees.
So June, what do we got today? What are we talking about?
Oh, speaking of uprooting ourselves, Kitty, you want to tell them about where we might be ending up?
So I mean, this is not hard. This isn't confirmed until April applies to the job, and then goes through the interviews, which will be next month. But there is a possible job lined up in San Luis Obispo.
Where?
San Luis Obispo.
I have no idea where that is.
It's about halfway between San Francisco and LA,
Oh.
and it's about 12 miles from
You could have said
coast.
California somewhere in there. That would have been helpful.
Yeah, it's in Central California.
California.
20 years.
Yeah, you
of
could have
this
said
shit.
close to noun.
Yeah, close to
about-
noun.
You could have just said adverb.
Close to Korean too.
It's 3.5 hours from now and 3 hours from LA if we want to go there for some reason. 3 hours from Predator
For some
2.
reason. Predator 2 is a good movie.
Predator 2 is a
Underrated.
good movie.
Underrated movie.
It was a lot of fun. It was a very 90s action movie.
Yeah, very 90s. Yeah. But
I mean, I like the first two Predators a lot. The third one, I was a little. It was okay. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I like the third one. I had not seen the
I was
fourth
hoping
one.
that somebody would catch that. Thank you, Noun.
Thought it was the wizard, but I wasn't sure.
California.
California.
California knows how to party.
California knows how to party. In the city of Compton. You're gonna make me sing it. Like, okay, what's the topic, June?
Honestly, I had no idea what the topic is because last month, well,
All right,
February
I
was
have a topic we could talk about then.
yeah, February was such a huge disaster. But no, okay, no, I'll tell you what's up. It's been compared to February, this past month has actually been much, much nicer. Like, okay, so Kyle, we should probably talk about the move.
Oh yes.
Cause that was interesting. So, okay, so Kyle, some friends of his and his dad all show up, right?
And it's interesting. I just want to interject for a moment because when Kyle said that some friends of his were helping, I just imagined people like Kyle. I didn't know that that one dude was going to be going there. That one dude that I kind of want to punch in the face.
Yep. I'll
Fucking
never be the one, or whatever the hell his Twitch name is.
Yeah, whatever. Well, he's banned from your channel now. But
Yep. And I told him, dude, you're banned from my channel. I don't care if you watch, but I'm not unbanning you. And he's like, oh, that's fine. Because he's really nice in person, but it's huge dick online.
I noticed.
Yeah,
That's fucking
what is
weird.
that? The greater internet fuckwire theory. You take a normal person, give them anonymity in an audience, and they turn into a complete cockhead.
Yep.
Who eats cack?
Oh, please don't do that.
Yeah, no, yeah, actually,
Sorry.
those kind of sounds bother Kitty.
Sorry, Kitty.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. It was it's a
they were
reflex.
to answer now. They were absolutely right. It just also applied to them.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, so they all got to the house, and so we're packing things up, and I had gotten like almost everything packed, and so I'm trying to direct everything, and I'm trying to like be real nice to Kyle's dad, and Kyle's dad is doing that cranky boomer thing where you can't really talk to him.
No, yeah, no, I
but
kind of
he
get
wasn't
what
the-
you're saying.
Yeah, he wasn't the worst part, though. The worst part was fucking Nicholas, who kept hanging around like a fart and would not go away, would leave any of us alone, would not wear a mask, and kept yelling at me, demanding I do this, and this. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of the move here. What do you want from me? Go away. And he would
Question
not.
for Kyle. What stopped you from beating the shit out of Nicholas?
I really don't like being a violent person, and I know that June still has stuff there. So by being a little bitch and getting physical or verbal, that then gives them a reason to not allow June to come back and get all the remaining stuff.
You wanted to, though, right?
So anything that I will do, I'll do after we go back and get any remains. And I will be bitching
Okay.
up a storm at Nicholas and be like, listen here. It says a lot about your fucking character that you weren't wearing a goddamn mask when there were people from a high-risk area where there have been over 200 positive cases, and you're not wearing a fucking mask.
And spending the whole time yelling at us.
Exactly.
And, we're going to go back, and I'm going to tell Therese, no, I don't want to see Nicholas. It's like, I don't care what you have to do. Put him in that fucking case he keeps in his room. I don't care.
Well, I mean, Teresa's not going to have any control over this kid.
Teresa told me that. It's like I asked Therese the day we left, could you please get Nicholas to leave me alone? And Therese was like, I don't have any control over him. And I'm just like, okay, fine, but I'm really done with his bullshit, and I don't want to deal with him again. That's part of why I've been dragging my feet on getting a van to pick up my chair.
Well, I mean,
Therese also has been dodging me on Discord because I asked Therese for some of the money that she owes me, they owe me, no response.
Maybe you should remind Therese what happened the last time somebody owed you money.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
Just saying.
Oh.
I think I don't know if Therese is specifically dodging me or if they just don't look at Discord. But
Why not both?
yeah.
No, but
So
like,
I'm
okay, so
gonna.
what you're saying though, Kyle, is that an ass beating may happen. It's not out of the question.
I try not to be physical, but it's not out of the question.
I'm just saying, Nicholas really needs an ass beating.
I need some sort of. I swear to God, I'm so sick of that kid.
I mean that's a verbal ass beating is fine as long as this kid feels like he got his ass kicked.
Well, if
A
he wants to
verbal
feel
ass
like he got
beating
his
for
ass kicked,
sure.
maybe he should sleep in one of the beds we have in this building.
Oh,
I can definitely get a good verbal ass beating. Physical is a little more difficult.
Yeah, and I'm not a physical person myself, so
I'm not a physical person at all, but I would absolutely kick this kid's shit in.
Well, if you can get your ass down to Massachusetts, you can make it happen.
Well, I can't, but I want to. Like if I had a car still, I would probably do it.
yeah.
And then you
At this
could bring
point,
gifts with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course I'd bring Gibbs with me.
yeah, and I have to go back anyway because some of my mail has not been redirected to the new place. So it's all still going to the old place, which means I have to go down and collect it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for fucking lot
I mean,
post service.
is that something that's a problem with your former roommates, or is that a problem with the post office?
Post office.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I contacted the post office and they're like, "Oops, sorry, we'll fix it," and it remains unfixed.
That sounds
Well,
about
they
right.
did have that one letter from like that car dealership that came. So it
Ugh.
may be fixed for future mail, but that doesn't help with all the previous mail that may have already been delivered.
Yeah.
Which is probably sitting there, on their table somewhere collecting dust.
Yep.
I'm not happy about it.
Well, I would
So
imagine
anyway,
not.
so
You
we
might
did
have
manage.
important correspondence there.
Yeah, so we did manage to get almost everything into the truck except for my chair and a coat rack that my grandfather had made. So I'm going to rent a van and go down and get those and get my mail.
And I'm assuming
But
that Kyle's dad is not going to be part of the second excursion.
I doubt it.
no, no, no. I
Well,
mean,
okay, so what is it like? I get like why he was being a pain in the ass, but I also heard that Kyle's mom has an issue with June now too.
yeah. Apparently Kyle's dad talked a bunch of shit about me to Kyle's mom, and now mom hates me. I'm just like, okay then. I
Yeah,
mean, I ain't done nothing to you. But
my entire family.
if you wanna hate me,
Sorry.
just go right ahead. I don't care. I
There's no
mean,
skin off your ass, right?
yeah, it's like it's not skin off my nose.
Yep. So my entire family just talks to each other. So anytime my dad has something to say, he'll tell my mother, and my sister will get involved sometimes. So they all are like, okay, there's this one person that we don't like, and then none of them like that one person because of one thing that the first person didn't like. In other words, everything gets around fast.
Bunch
But
of
with someone that
gossipy
they
bitches.
like, they all talk about it. And I'm like, can you stop gossiping and learn more about this individual that literally was unable to function at that time
Yeah.
and is a genuinely decent human being that I enjoy being around? And you're telling me that you don't feel comfortable with me living with them?
Okay,
Fuck
so
off.
I'm gonna offer sort of a outsider's perspective on this, Kyle, because I think that this is something that your parents would never tell you directly. And I think that part of the reason they're uncomfortable is the age difference.
Yeah, because I'm 38 and Kyle's 21. You know, I thought about that myself, no, and also I'm not exactly the. I look like a raccoon that was turned into a human by an evil wizard. Okay.
So you're a furry, in other words.
Yeah.
I
So
think
so I'm. So
I know you
I don't
don't
know.
meet the boomer standard of beauty, but no, but I think the point is they're sitting there thinking, what is this guy who's pushing 40? Why is he friends with our 20-year-old son? That kind of thing. And I'm just thinking, well, I mean, I think that it's good for guys our age, well, not just guys, but anybody our age to have younger friends because it keeps us more in touch with, our changing culture and also The kids are all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, too many of people our ages have become total shitheads.
Yeah, it's like I look at some of the millennials and I'm just like, why the fuck are you turning into a parent?
Oh
Yeah,
no.
why do some people become everything they rebelled against?
This is reminding me that I had the exact same reaction from my dad when I've got a friend in Australia and we met her through World of Warcraft, and she had us
Wow.
visit her in Sydney, and she's only like maybe 10 years older than us, I think, maybe a little bit more, but like that was enough for my dad to like get really, really weird about it.
Yeah. Probably because of something he saw in like the local news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so like like it just blows my mind the way boomers seem to think. I mean, I'm looking at Kay and Noun's comments, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what the boomers are thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
it, so I
Which is like, you know, I mean, they know that. I mean, first of all, they know that Kyle's queer,
yeah.
and they're supposedly okay with that. But I think that any time that boomers, no matter how accepting they try to present themselves as, they're always worrying about the older male presenting person who's going to take advantage of them, which is hilarious because I think the only thing you're going to fuck is maybe you might fuck up a plate of chicken.
I eat chicken the way some people have sex, noisily
Yeah,
and
messily.
messily.
Yeah, and I think my parents' biggest problem was the way the room looked when we were moving everything, and also the fact that when we first met June was not really able to get around much. But you can't really do much when your
I
knees and
mean,
your feet
that
decide
that
to
was
have
the whole point, though. That was the whole
and
point of why June needed help
exactly.
moving.
And I mentioned that several times, and then they're like, "Oh, they're just gonna trash the apartment and make it your problem." And then my dad even said one day, "Well, what if they die someday and then all of their shit becomes your problem?" And I'm like, "That's not gonna happen."
So
That's also like the
I'm so-
least of the problem if they die. What
yeah,
the
that's
fuck?
what a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Because like if June like dies, like they're like, but what about all their shit? Like that's the problem that they're gonna worry about.
It blows my mind. I mean, I have problems with my feet. I'm not gonna die.
I mean,
Kyle,
we're all gonna die someday. So I mean, and we hope to, you know, that when we leave this world, other people are thinking like, oh great, what am I gonna do with all their shit?
Yeah.
that's that. I know that's what I'm thinking
I
all
mean,
the time.
just burn my hard drive. That's the only thing I ask.
As
Oh my
someone who's
God.
poly, that's my biggest problem. I'll have so many people's stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, and
Don't worry,
no,
because
okay,
my
my
family
mom.
loves you.
That is my first time hearing that, and that is fucked up, Kyle.
Yeah,
What if he die or they die? Like what?
Yeah,
yeah, that's literally something
yeah.
that came
Kyle
out of
told
my
me
father's
that.
mouth.
Kyle told me that, and no, I kept thinking about it for like 2 days straight because that was just like the most fucked up thing I ever heard.
You know, well, that is pretty fucked up, and I'm pretty angry about it. But you know what I would have replied with? I would have said, "Well, that's a whole lot of cool shit that's mine, then, ain't it?"
That is true. And then the other
I
thing
mean, yeah,
my dad said,
yeah. You can have my PS4 and no,
there you
my
go.
my Wii.
Yeah, my dad was also
Well, I think that's what his father's
like,
worried about is the way. I cannot be stopped.
so my dad was also mentioning, oh hey, if you need to store some stuff, let me know and we can put it in the attic at the house. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, we still have a couple of boxes and maybe the paintings and furniture. And they're like, no, no, your stuff. We're not talking about their stuff. And he used the wrong
Of course.
pronouns, even though I've enforced it several times. It's they, them, and no one in my family gets those pronouns
Not
right.
even your sister?
Nobody, not even my
Wow, that's
sister.
actually kind of surprising because she's not all that much older than you.
Well, my sister is getting information from my parents, and that's
No.
what the problem is. So when I tell my sister things, she knows what the hell is going on. But when my parents tell her things, she gets the information from my
Yeah,
parents.
Noun said that, like, you said they, and I'm like, yeah, like, I was thinking the same thing that Noun said, like, yeah, like, they said they.
Send a hard drive to Kitty. Okay, fine. Yes.
I'm trusted.
Okay, I can do that.
Send the hard drive to Corin. That way, she'll find some way to install your consciousness as a virus that makes people play Doom.
No, I think I'm gonna need an SSD for that.
There you go. Well, okay,
I'll
fair enough.
upload it onto an SSD first. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so okay, wow. I mean, I kind of figured that when they offered storage space, they were offering it to you and not to, your friend. But at the same
Some
time,
big things that take up space here.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's just sitting there and storage is expensive. You sure you can't store this for a couple months? And he's like, no. And I'm like, there's literally nothing in what we call it the attic, but the room above my garage, there's nothing there aside from shit that we throw in there and a pool table.
What is the fear that they're gonna get cooties from some paintings?
That's
They're
a
my
good
mom
question.
paintings. I mean, they're some of
and
my
the
mom's prized
furniture, too.
possession.
No, it's a bootstraps thing. It's they're not. They're. You're our kids, so you're our problem. They're not our kids, so they're not our problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like the beginning and end of the mentality, and it's stupid.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Kyle, tell me about the Netflix thing.
Oh,
I saw this in chat. Fuck.
Yep. So June made a profile for themselves, and I signed June into Netflix on their computer. And I'm like, what's the problem with this? Because June's my roommate. We're probably going to watch things together anyway. The profile literally just makes it so that they can see their own preferences and things that are relevant to them as opposed to watching on mine and fucking up my preferences. And then the other night, I go to watch Netflix and I couldn't sign in. So I'm like, what's going on? So I call my mother and I'm like, did you change the Netflix password? Because I wasn't sure if she had the account compromised or if she had actually changed it. And I had another text from my sister saying, hey, what's the Netflix password? So I was really concerned, like she may have had a
wasn't
tech
just you.
issue. And then she just was being a complete bitch about it and being like, I wonder what's going on. Oh, well, what were you gonna watch? And just being all nice and an asshole about it. And then she's like, do you know why it's not working? And then I'm like, you changed it because June had access, didn't you? And she's like, yep. And then she refused to give me the password because she is like, you're just going to give it back to them and I don't want to deal with it. And she has a problem with sharing an account that she barely uses and pays $17 a month for. That is not a cheap plan. And it literally does nothing to have an additional person on the account when you can have 4 simultaneous watchers. And she still made a big deal over it.
I mean, a lot of this is coming down to, and we talk kind of the discussion that we had about sign language on my Discord last night. That it just basically comes down to fuck disabled people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, also, your parents kind of might not be shit.
Yeah,
no, they for sure ain't shit. This is fucked up.
Remember, my mother
some of this
is
stuff
twin.
I knew, but
my
not
mother
all
is a
of it.
twin, and her twin's name is Karen. So it's like they had the wrong name for her twin, and she should be the Karen.
Assigned Karen at birth. Oh no.
Signed Karen at birth. Oh,
so
One was assigned Karen, the other chose Karendom.
Yep.
so I actually did meet Kyle's
into
mom
it.
at one point, and she basically refused to speak to me. So the next time I see her, I'm just gonna be like, "Hi, Kyle's mom. It's good to see you again. It's been a very busy time corrupting your sweet innocent son."
I love it.
I love it. Please do that.
Yep. And she intentionally did not come in when I picked up stuff on Easter or before Easter because I don't think she wanted to see you. And I'm like, can you fuck off? Like, there's
Can you
literally no harm.
do something where like next time that situation arises, June can come out and then you guys can just have like a big hug in front of your mom?
Let's do it.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna buy like a big rainbow shirt or something.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. I love it. Okay, so I have a topic we have to talk about. Sony, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh fuck! I had just gotten over being angry about this.
Well, I'm still angry.
Fuck.
So okay, like for anybody who's like, huh? I mean, you know, the PSN store is going down for a lot of their legacy consoles, including PlayStation 3, which is still has an incredibly big user base and is still played a lot. And it's not just that you can't buy stuff on the PSN anymore, but apparently, if you own stuff that you bought on PSN, you're not going to be able to re-download it, which is, you know, from a point of view of preservation, that's fucking balls.
Well, and also like customer rights and ownership and shit like that.
You know,
too.
and the developers' rights too. And I mean,
I heard devs
Where
didn't
did
know
you hear
about this.
what did you hear about not being able to download?
from Kyle, actually.
Okay, so because what I heard was that you won't be able to buy anything, but you'll still have.
No.
access.
They're taking the servers down
Yeah, that's
because the whole point of this is for them to save money by not having to pay for these servers to be maintained. Whatever little bit of money they save from it. So there isn't anywhere to download it from.
so. I get that the PlayStation 3 is 2 generations old, and eventually, you know, all things must pass. But the fact that you can't transfer this stuff over to a PlayStation 4 or 5, you know, like the way that the licenses work, that you can own a game on PS3 but digitally, but somehow not own the same game on PlayStation 5. What the fuck are they doing over there?
Are you sure about this, Kyle? Because everything I'm finding here says that it's just the store shutting down, not the server.
I would love to be wrong about
well,
this.
but the store is how you download.
Yeah,
things.
how are you going to reinstall a game that you've bought
Because
that
you
might
can
not
still
have
access
installed?
it on your account. So just
But the account is on the store.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that I don't think you're going to be able to download things.
I mean, it could be that they're just disabling the store, but you need the store in order to download shit.
okay.
So as
So
long as you still have the license on your console, you'll still be able to use all your old stuff. But
Yeah.
as far as I know, after June, you won't be able to download anything on PS3 again.
I mean,
Okay,
like,
no,
hard drives get filled, hard drives fail.
okay.
You know,
What I'm saying
So,
is,
in other words,
you might still be able to access the PlayStation Store app. You just won't be able to make purchases.
I mean,
I mean, let me
Based on
see
what?
if I can real quick do a little bit of quick research while you guys talk about this.
Yeah, and also multi-platform cross-buy purchases are still possible. So if you have a PS4, you have content that's available to both PS4 and PS3. You can buy it on PS4 and download stuff on the PS3. So according to Polygon, this line specifically says players can still access their content by way of the download list on their respective device.
okay.
So we're not. So in short, we're not going to be able to buy new things, which is why I've been telling people, get out there and buy some of these exclusive stuff that you won't be able to get anywhere else. Like, there's the Siren game that never got a physical release here. There's an enhanced version of Resident Evil Code Veronica. There's better versions of the two light gun games for Resident Evil that were on the Wii.
Asura's Wrath is only available on PS3, and while you can get a physical copy, the
It's
DLC,
not the whole game.
the DLC chapters, which are the actual end of the game, like the game doesn't end properly without them, are obviously only available digitally.
Okay, so I'm actually on Sony's website, and thankfully it actually says you will be able to re-download and play previously purchased game titles.
Thank
Yeah.
fuck.
You will still be able to access previously purchased video and media content. You will still be able to redeem Game and PlayStation Plus vouchers. You will still be able to re-download and play claimed game titles through PlayStation Plus as long as you remain a member. You will no longer be able to purchase PS3, PS Vita, or PSP digital content, including games and video content. You will no longer be able to make in-game purchases. That applies to things like Asher's Wrath, obviously. And you will no longer be able to redeem PSN Wallet Fund vouchers on those devices.
Okay.
I kind of figured this day was coming when they shut down the servers for Demon's Souls a couple years ago.
Well, I'm relieved to find out that it isn't as nightmarish as I had heard.
Yeah.
But it still sucks because like the PlayStation 3, maybe I'm just old, but it doesn't seem all that long ago to me.
No, it's not.
No, and people still use it. I still use mine. Arguably, I use my PS3 more than my PS4.
And there's a lot of games that are being sold, and like a lot of developers are losing a revenue stream there.
Oh, okay. So that was the thing I was going to say. I watched the Jimquisition about it this week, and one of the things that came up is that there are devs working on games for the PS Vita that like aren't out yet, that are coming out soon, that didn't know about this until the announcement was made publicly. Imagine you have a game coming out on a platform, and then you learn that you have 3 months to sell it.
Yeah. That's almost like finding your indie studio shut down while you're eating dinner.
That is some fucked up shit.
That's pretty. You know, if
what's
someone were to
funny
do
is
that
that-
to their employees, that they probably wouldn't be shit.
No, they definitely ain't shit. Ain't never been shit. Ain't never gonna be shit.
I'm still salty about that.
Okay.
I think you know what's funny is you were the saltiest dog in the bunch. And you didn't really work for Kazareth, but you were the saltiest dog in the bunch. I was angry, but you were like immediately like, let's go fucking punch Tanya in the taint.
Yeah, because I am disgusted by how that was handled. And I was enjoying the games, and she's just like, oh, nope, let me just say fuck you and close the studio. When she had an audience that was finally available to grow bigger on Twitch, and I was one of four people that had played the game on Twitch, and I had even played one of the earlier games too.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing was obviously like shitty, but I mean that's the sort of thing that happens. Like, first of all, imagine working on a Vita game in 2021. That's dedication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
is
And then because it's got to be either some visual novel or some JRPG, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to find out, oh, by the way, you'll be able to sell it for a little while, like a couple of weeks, and then not at all. So I hope you got physical copies printed up.
Or I hope this was just one of many platforms.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but the thing is, the Vita doesn't have a whole lot of cross platforms with anything other than the PS3.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I mean like indie. There are a bunch of indie games that got ported to the Vita that
that's true,
are in other places as well. So for some devs, it'll only be a little bit devastating and not like totally.
The Vita was like sort of this thing that they decided was over 5 minutes after they released it, which is a damn shame because it's a good console.
I was so mad about that because I pre-ordered a Vita and then they just screwed everyone over.
Yeah.
It was a really short time before they said, yeah, that's a legacy console, and I'm just like, it's not even been out a year.
Yeah, it wasn't even out 3 months. See, the worst part is that they basically screwed Vita over because I bought a Vita specifically so I could play Metal Gear Portable Ops. I was gonna buy it on the PSN store, and they didn't put it up for like a year and a half.
It
wasn't
was a long
available.
time, yeah.
I wound up having to buy a PSP off of Korean, and that was how I played through the game.
I literally got a PS TV for Christmas back in I think 2019 for the sole purpose of playing Persona 4 Golden.
And then it came out on Steam like a month after that.
It was like 3-ish months, but
Yeah.
yeah, I had already played through half of the game, and it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, this is coming to Steam now, and now I just have this small brick that's basically worthless.
You know what? I'll
After
take it.
June.
I'll take it off the hand.
Yeah, you had mentioned you had some interest in it, so yeah, we can make that happen.
So you could stream Gravity Rush.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking, right?
Yep. Gravity Rush and I got a Wipeout game.
So I mean, what? Okay, so this is the discussion. So what is the appropriate time to shut down a server like that?
I would say 20 years.
20 years is a
Okay.
very 20 years is a very long time. I mean, because I
That's
want
not
you
as
to
long
think
as what I said.
You know. Well, that's true, but like 20 years ago, we were just buying our Wii's, you know.
Yep. So Nintendo, they also took the same approach where they shut down everything slowly, but they started with Connect 24, and then they allowed people to make a couple purchases, and then stopped allowing purchases, and then they eventually shut everything completely down. And that was after what, 14 years?
I mean,
So
there are
I think
there are games that are trapped on the Wii that have never been released on any other console and never got physical releases. Konami had the Rebirth series. That's a good example right there.
Yep.
And
I actually
if this
I have
doesn't encourage emulation, then what does?
Right.
Yep. My Wii still has a couple games that were never ported to anything else installed on it. Like, what the hell is it called? My Pokemon Ranch. And the original Pokemon Rumble was released on Wii as well as WiiWare. So I have that on mine as well.
And the same thing happened with the DSiWare too, right?
Yep.
So I mean, you know, like the digital stuff is really, really convenient, but it's got issues. I mean, that's why I kind of like Steam, because you kind of know that like when you get a new device, that your Steam library is going to still be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know people who are big proponents of like physical media and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. It's not for everybody, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, and for me, I prefer digital largely because I've always lived in shoeboxes, and who's got the room or the money to buy these physical cases that take up huge amounts of space. I mean, if I were to have a physical copy of every game I have on Steam, I would not be able to sleep in this room.
You would be like that show Hoarders, right?
Yeah, it would be bad. But it's a double-edged sword because even though digital is just so much more convenient, there's the real factor of, you know, someday they're just going to decide to take your copies away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, how about fuck you? But it's like, it feels like you can't really win because if you have physical media, that stuff rots over time. No matter how
true.
well you
Well,
take
that's
care of
why.
it.
That's why you need to have both.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why also you need to be allowed to make copies and stuff like that, have backups.
Well, that's why preservation is so important, because like I'm so into emulation and people think it's about, oh, this is just so you can play games for free and shit, and that's not really the case. It's more of it's convenient, you know what I mean? It keeps it alive. Like, you know, somebody came in when I was doing Breath of Fire, right? And they asked if I had the game because I mentioned I was playing an emulator, and I said yeah. And I actually brought my copy over and showed it to the webcam. Like, see, I fucking own it. See, but you know, like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Set up a Super Nintendo and some old CRT, and then spend hundreds of dollars on some capture solution just so I could stream it? Like, come on,
Yeah. I mean,
who does that, Kyle?
I mean, since I already have the capture solution and I enjoy having the physical collection,
I'm referring
but-
more to buying Japanese PlayStations to play Pepsi Man and that whole debacle with Knuckles Chaotix.
okay. to be fair, I also enjoy having a physical collection of things. So even though the games
Pepsi
are all
Man.
trash and I paid way too much for them, they may appreciate in value, and then I'll have a really nice collection of some obscure shit that nobody likes because no one will have it.
You
So
gave
I can
me
be like,
shit for
hey,
my Japanese copies of King Field.
See, so like, the thing that got me about the whole Knuckles Chaotix was that like the game doesn't even really work all that well, and it
uh,
wasn't something specific to your copy or specific to the 32X. It's just that particular game doesn't run well. And
yep.
I tried so hard. I was like, if you really want to play this game on stream, by all means buy your physical copy, but do not try to stream your physical copy.
Yeah,
How
I
many times did it
definitely,
crash on you?
let's see, like 6. So
Yeah.
I've definitely learned that
What?
there are some games that are definitely better off emulated,
Yeah.
but I'll definitely continue to have, at the very least, some physical copies and then emulate things that just don't work so that I don't damage it.
The funny thing is okay. I will be emulating Dragon Guard 1 and 2 for Twitch, but I am going to be using a capture card with Dragon Guard 3 because it's a PS3 game. Mostly because I don't know how it's going to behave in an emulator. But the other thing is I am not going to be emulating Demon Souls because that has
Oh
some
my
weird
god.
glitches in the emulator that are because of how weird the PS3 is set up. There's some issues with like
They need to get the emulator to the point where it emulates bugs.
yes,
Because Demon Souls works by virtue of bugs.
yeah.
Is something I learned last night.
Hey, June, watch them fix it like a
Right as
week
you're
after
done.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, a week after you finish streaming it.
But what I learned, because I read that and they were like, well, people could just mod the game directly, but I guess nobody's interested. Somebody said that on one of those forums, and I'm like, actually, what I read is they tried to mod the game, but they can't even get those models to load in the Dark Souls editor.
They have to basically figure out the bugs in the hardware and the firmware of a
Yeah,
PS3
because
and get those to work properly.
yeah, because if the PS3 worked as it should have, then they would have been like, "Hey, wait a minute, there's something fucked up with our game that we need to fix." Like it's a game that works because the hardware is faulty.
It's so that's so wild, but it's also extremely typical of the game industry from everything I've heard of it and
Especially
seen of
for,
it.
especially out of Japan, because
Yeah.
everything's so proprietary.
Oh God, yeah. Everything's held together by like the wishes of children and fairy dust. Video games work largely by accident in general.
Yeah, yeah. Let's be real here. Computers in general work largely by accident. We basically made a bunch of rocks do magic.
Yeah,
The rocks are talking to each other with
yeah.
lightning.
There's like wires and metal and stone and gold that think.
Yeah, we taught a bunch of rocks how to do math, so we wouldn't have to do it.
We taught a computer to figure out the difference between two abstract concepts that could basically be implied to be on and off, and we use that to shoot people in the face and call them racial slurs over long distances. Kyle's being a prima donna about food in the chat.
Yeah, you're not changing my
Kyle, I
diet.
love you,
No,
but I'm
no,
gonna continue to eat a
your diet
vegetable.
does need to change because
Yeah.
eventually your body is going to say, "Well, that's it."
Yeah, we don't
I
want you to
I
die.
know, I
You
know
know.
it's a really terrible diet, but you know what? I'd rather have a really happy life than have a really long shitty life.
No, see, you wouldn't have a really long, shitty life if you learned to appreciate a wider variety of foods. You would have more joy by appreciating more things. You wouldn't have as much anxiety about having to worry about what you're going to eat or if they're going to have food that you're going to enjoy. Because I mean, your parents are fucking assholes. Let me just put that out there. And we learned a little bit while ago one reason why they're assholes. But like one of the worst things they could have done is when you started refusing to eat whatever, they were like, okay, well then make your own food. And then you, how long have you been making your own food? What age did that start?
I think it was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, you let a 12-year-old boy
What?
make his own dinner every day, and he's going to eat garbage every single day, and then he's going to grow into an adult that eats garbage every single day.
Yeah.
And yes,
If
I literally made pizza and or mac and cheese every single day for like my last almost 10 years.
And and you're skinny and everything and in good health, but eventually your metabolism will change and it's going to fuck you up.
yeah, Kyle,
I
I
mean,
promise
and I'm
you.
telling you, like you could get cancer with a diet like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I try to eat healthy, and maybe I don't I don't try as hard as I should, and you know,
With you, it's habits. It's just habits
Well, like, well,
and
but
energy.
That is also a parental thing because June's mother couldn't really cook,
no,
Yeah, that
mom
oh,
was a
that too.
terrible cook.
and June's father was not there a lot of. So I mean, it all comes down to like when people say they don't like vegetables, and I'm like, okay, you probably don't like shitty canned vegetables that are overcooked and taste like aluminum, but come on, vegetables are pretty delicious if you know what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, there are vegetables that I will eat. I like carrots, I like broccoli, I like
Oh,
corn.
broccoli's awesome.
Yeah, broccoli is awesome.
I'll
I
sit
mean,
there and eat broccoli every day.
yeah, I mean, it will, and I'll eat. I don't like celery unless you put peanut butter in it, but I'll
I
eat
don't even.
celery.
I'll be honest. I don't even. Celery is like one of those things that like it tastes like absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah,
So I
April
don't.
hates raw celery, but is fine with it.
It's better cooked.
I'll
It
eat
is
green
better like in a
beans.
soup or green beans are good if they're fresh.
Yeah, I'll eat
I
green
have
beans.
celery with hummus a lot.
Oh, that's a good
I
snack.
remember, I remember helping my grandma snap green beans for dinner.
Aw.
I think most of
That
us,
releases the flavor. So
yeah, I think
snapping.
most of us in the of a certain age
I
remember doing
really want to
that.
cook. I really want to cook for Kyle at some point because I really want to introduce Kyle to a wider variety of
I
foods.
want you to cook for me.
Well, yeah, I want to cook for a lot of people actually, but
Take a trip down here and we can make it happen.
yeah, I mean, but
Hey,
would you eat what I put in front of you without like would you try it at least without
I
refusing?
would at least try it.
Because that's all I like. My nephews have a wider variety of foods that they eat than you, and like they're 6 and 9.
is
Yeah,
is making a 12-year-old make their own dinner child abuse?
I'm
I
gonna
think
have
it
to
is
say yes.
absolutely 100% yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's
That's fucked
it's
up.
it's
Okay,
neglect.
to be fair, I was I was offered the food that was made,
Yeah.
and I was told that if I did not want it, then I could either not eat or I could make myself something.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
so
no,
clearly
no, no,
I
no.
was
Okay,
being
hold on,
given
hold on,
hold
hold
on,
on.
hold on. What is the difference between letting your child make and eat pizza and mac and cheese every day, or letting your kid smoke or drink or put forks in outlets?
Also, there's a threat of starvation there. You're right. They threatened a 12-year-old with starvation. That doesn't make it better.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
fair point.
I mean, basically, it's saying like, we'll make whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay, you've gotten your allotted calories, but like, it, I'm saying it fucked you up mentally
yeah.
because you're unable to eat like a lot of different things.
June, can you go give Kyle a hug for me?
Yes, as
Yeah,
soon as Gloomwave is over,
make
Kyle, we're
that
getting
two
one big
hugs.
hug. Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I feel like most parents are abusive in some way.
Oh yeah.
It's like, even if they don't mean to be, it's just like, we-
It's like,
but
and you know how it is, where some kids are a pain in the ass and they're really picky, and you make a whole bunch of food, and they're like, I don't want that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
parents don't have
that's a
infinite patience and
yeah,
and
but you
understanding.
cannot let your 12-year-old son eat trash every day.
yeah, yeah.
Like
So
that.
to
That
answer
should
your
go ahead.
question, EB, before I made my food like every day, there were still some foods that my mother would cook that I would actually like and I would eat, but it wasn't like every day. So there was times when I would have to either eat cereal or have some kind of shake that would give me the energy that I'm supposed to have from actual food. But that shake was fucking disgusting,
No.
and I don't know how how anyone drinks that every day. And
You find one with a flavor you like.
yeah, and
Yeah.
there was also a time when I was in daycare at like actually the first daycare I went to and that I was at until I was about 5 years old, where she force fed people. So she did not let you leave the table until you ate, and if you did not eat, she would literally pick up the food and put it towards your mouth.
So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you have fucked up ideas about food because that's abuse on like all the levels right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
that from literally in both directions.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's and that of course that's going to give you a lot of issues, But I mean, like I'm just saying that you have to try and branch out a little bit. Like I love pizza. I love hamburgers and mac and cheese and all that stuff. I can't eat that shit every day. I need I need a break. I need a day where I'm gonna eat something, green.
Yeah, I don't know how I get through every day. I mean, okay, I have massively cut down on pizza. I don't eat pizza unless Kyle
Well,
makes it at
I
this
think
point.
you're lactose intolerant.
Yeah, that's part of it. But also, I just want chicken every day. That's literally all I think about is chicken, and I won't eat
There's a
chicken
lot
just
of lot
about
of
any
different
which way
ways
you
to eat
prepare it.
chicken, though. There's a lot of different ways to eat chicken.
Exactly. So I'll eat chicken almost any which way you prepare, as long as you
Yeah.
don't put something gross on it, like I don't know, Kathy
Mushroom
Marzu or mushroom sauce.
mushrooms.
Wait, no, wait, no.
Yeah.
Okay, mushrooms are funny, but I didn't hear what June said in your examples of something gross. What did you say, June? What was the
Kathy
example?
Marzu.
I mean, that only exists in one part of the world, and it's actually illegal in that one part of the world.
I
And
know,
then
but
there's
if you put it on a pizza, I won't eat the pizza. Well,
Well, I,
if you put
I,
it
th-
on
okay. I
if you put
think
it
that
on
that's
chicken, I won't
if you,
eat the chicken.
I don't think you should be eating cheese with maggots in it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
and
but yeah, with mushroom sauce, don't put mushroom sauce on my chicken. I won't eat it. I'll give it to
Any,
Kitty.
well, I would
Yeah.
anything to do with mushrooms. I'm like the shits are haunted.
Mushrooms are delicious.
I mean they're
Yeah.
haunted though.
that Captain Crunch chicken though.
That's how I get my power is by eating haunted food.
Well, more power to you and less to me because I didn't want to look at mushrooms.
Yeah, and
Don't worry,
I don't like seafood either. I don't like mushrooms. I do like peppers.
Peppers
I
are
don't.
awesome.
I like. I like stuff with peppers in them, but if there's too much peppers, I don't. I don't like it as much. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like give me the peppers. One time, I'll tell you guys a quick story. I went to Subway, right? And I got a chicken teriyaki sandwich. And when we're getting to the vegetables, I'm very specific about because everybody, they kind of like try to push you in the direction of the popular vegetables there.
Hmm.
They're like, "Do you want lettuce, tomato, onion?" And I'm like, "No." So I was like, "Okay, I want some spinach." Because they have really good spinach there. I want some olives, and I said, and I want a lot of green bell peppers. So she put some on, right? And it might have been like slightly above the average of what they put on normally. And I said, no, no, you don't understand. Whatever amount you think is unreasonable, that and a little bit more.
That's me with
Yeah.
garlic.
That's
So
that's
oh, I love garlic, but so
that's
she
me with the
puts,
olives.
so she puts it all on, and she says, "How does that?" And I'm like, "That's perfect. That's the right amount of peppers. It looks great." So then she's like, "Watch this." She calls over her manager, right? And she goes, "You think there's enough peppers on the sandwich?" And the manager looks like she's about to have a heart attack. She's like, "Oh my God, that's too much. You ruined it, you know?" And she's like, "Relax. He asked for extra peppers."
Great.
But she looked like she gave the manager a fucking heart attack.
That's great.
But the love the
That's
way she said,
amazing.
"Watch this," like she knew it was gonna be funny,
Yeah. Did you know that Ocean actually worked at the subway in town for like 2 months?
That's cool.
I got something to tell you.
You have Uno?
When Corinne was staying with me, okay, here's one thing I don't like. I like onion flavor. I do not like actual onion.
I used to be in that boat.
And so when Corinne was living with me for a couple months, what she would do is she would take onion and she would grind them up and basically melt them down, and she would put that into the meal she was making. So I got the onion flavor without having to deal with the onion.
You know what I would love to make for you is my candied onions. I would love to see the look on your face when you eat that and you're like, holy shit, it's like candy.
No, it's a texture thing. I can't stand. I can't stand.
Yeah, but when you candy them, the texture is completely different. It's not the slimy onion you're thinking about. I
Well, I'm
guarantee
willing
you.
to give it a try.
Yeah.
Dude, it's John. You should, unless it contains something you know you don't want, like peas. Try it. Try a bite
Well,
at least, right?
I would never put peas on somebody's plate because if somebody did that to me, I would want to hit them.
No, I just wanted to use an example of something. I
Yeah.
knew
Well,
you
it's a
didn't
perfect example because I hate peas.
Peas
like.
are
I
hot.
peas.
Candied onions are great.
But
Hey, can we all just
Tomorrow?
go to John's place like now?
Well, not now. I'm not cooking now. As a matter of fact, right after this, I got to prepare for the friggin' Uno.
Oh, that's right.
We're having.
We have Uno.
Have Uno.
yeah, when is
Yeah,
It came with your internet.
Have you ever noticed that people either completely hate peas or they love them and like a lot? Like nobody's just like, yeah, they're all right.
I'm like that though. I don't like love them, but they're fine.
yeah,
They're
peas
an
are the
acceptable
kind of
vegetable.
You're the first person I heard that said that.
yeah, peas are the kind of thing Kyle's mom put in the potato salad.
Oh, nasty.
What? Oh.
And you know what? I don't even really like potato salad. I'll be honest with you.
Maybe
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
anything you
potato
do-
salad
EB
myself.
also said peas are all right. I'm learning things here. Usually people are either like, get those green shits away from me, or they're like, give me all the peas in the world.
You know what I really like?
Yeah, maybe it's an envy thing.
I really like pea soup.
You know what's funny is that I love the smell of pea soup, and I hate the smell of peas. Like for some reason, when people make split pea soup, it doesn't smell like peas anymore.
That's probably the amount of ham and salt in it.
Yeah,
That's why.
so I don't really like a lot of food that are like small little things that are kind of squishy. So I don't really like peas. I don't like smoked beans. I mean, I can't even eat baked beans anymore. I'm just,
Well, you were traumatized by baked beans. You were traumatized by rice.
I think I'm willing to
I-
give rice another try, but I wasn't so much
Yeah.
traumatized by baked beans as I am. So I am so sick of baked beans. I never want to see another baked bean in my life because
Well, you know,
and during the
that
summer,
counts as a
that was
trauma.
all mom would cook.
That counts as a trauma, I think. But there was a post on Facebook that was like, I think I saw your post. You replied to this. It was like, what was the thing that your parents made you eat as a kid that you still don't like? Do you remember that post?
Vaguely.
You replied to it, and that's how I saw it. And I wrote pasta fagioli. I still can't even look at it, right? And then my sister saw it because I replied to it. And not only did she say, yeah, that bitch made us eat it, but then she tagged my mom.
Your family is something else.
And my mom was not angry about it. She thought it was fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Hey, June, Star's asking about the rice story.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if. Do you really want to tell that, June? Or?
I'm going to tell that story. So many years ago, when I was just a kid in grade school, we had rice for lunch one day, and as it turned out, the rice was moving.
Yeah.
The rice was moving, and I was so grossed out by it, and so I never ate rice again because I had this
I mean,
huge
honestly,
fear of
that would
insects.
put you off of any food. I mean,
Yeah.
Especially when you're young, like having a bad experience. April's brother had a bad experience with some expired mayo and now doesn't have mayo on like anything.
well,
that's
I'm very, with mayo, less is more as it is, and I like
Yeah.
mayo as an ingredient in certain things, like egg salad, for example. But like, if you put mayo on a sandwich, I'm like, why did you jizz on that sandwich? What did it do to you?
Because I like jizz. We've talked about this.
Yeah. There was
Keeping
one
it
of Stephen
classy
King,
on
one of Stephen
Gloomwave
King's Dark
every
Tower
month.
books. There was a whole thing about Roland the Gunslinger having to go get Eddie a sandwich. And he wanted a salami sandwich with lots of mayo. Which, first off, ew.
Oh no.
But that
No,
I
no.
guess that's what he likes. So, and Roland had this hard time pronouncing certain words that were not, from his fantasy world. So he's like, "Let me hear you say salami. Let me hear you say mayo. Okay, go ahead, go get it for me." So he brings it and he goes, "Here's your salami and cheese sandwich with lots of mayo, whatever that is." And he goes, "Personally, I would have picked a sauce that looks less like cum." And and Eddie goes, "Wow, you really know how to work up my appetite."
Wow.
And Roland doesn't get sarcasm, so he just goes, "Really?"
That is amazing.
You should know better.
So yeah, so what happened with the right thing is, from my understanding, the school was getting its food from the government,
Oh,
and
Government
so after that they
cheese.
canceled the government account and just had the food come in from a caterer.
Government cheese.
See, oh my god, I had some cheese crackers last night, and all I could think of was 64 slices of
Of
American
American
cheese.
cheese.
64,
Oh.
63.
Oh. And then at the end, 2, 1.
Homer, have you
Homer.
been up all night eating cheese?
I think I'm blind.
oh, that's one of those things that I wasn't as squeamish when I first saw it, so I didn't really get it, and now I'm thinking about it and I'm like sick.
That's a lot of plastic cheese to eat. Because these were those individually wrapped slices, where you get like 400 for $1 at, Stop and Shop or whatever.
Kraft singles.
Yeah, well, knowing it was The Simpsons, it was probably like generic brand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kraft ones are like
pasteurized processed cheese food product.
They go good with saltines, I'll say that much.
they don't go good with anything. American
No,
cheese sucks.
American cheese is good if you get it from a deli, like actual sliced American cheese from a deli. If you get that plastic crap, it don't go good with nothing.
I'm spoiled for cheese here. That's one of those things where I'm going to go back to the States. Cheese,
Okay, to be fair, okay.
price of
Yeah, what?
internet,
I will not-
price of cell phone data.
We have
Okay, so
lots
the
of good
Kroger
cheese
brand
here.
is basically rubber, and I will not eat that. But to some of these other brands that are a little bit nicer, I'll eat those. It's not the same thing as real cheese, but it's convenient. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to deal with it, and it's cheap.
You don't have to cut the cheese.
I don't have to cut the cheese.
Qui a coupé la fromage? Qui a coupé la fromage? Please tell me someone else here has seen Freakazoid. Was that Freakazoid?
I don't know what the hell you were talking about there. I've never seen it.
It's a random cut in between like two episodes of Qui a coupé la fromage is French for who cut the cheese.
Well, I figured that.
Yeah. Star, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, when it comes to mayo, though, and we're back to what EB said, I actually do like a little bit of mayo with my cheese sandwiches, but it's like John said, a little goes a long way.
Yeah, less
Yeah.
is more.
Yeah. Too much and it gets gross.
Like
it gets gross
I
really
made
easily.
I made salmon salad not too long ago, and I think I even posted a picture of it. And yeah, it's a mayo-based salad, but it's got a bunch of other stuff in it, and it's just a little bit. Too much mayo is like, I don't know. All right, not to make another cum joke, but it feels like I'm eating like just something out of a grease trap.
Yeah. And when there's too much, it's really obvious. And so I really do prefer to have like not a whole lot. Like I want it to be more than a thin smear, but I don't want it to be like a whole handful.
You just made me imagine a handful of mayo, and well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. I won't spoil what, both because it's gross and because I don't want to spoil it. But mayo comes up at some point in the Harley Quinn cartoon. So June, when we watch that and we get to the part with mayo, I'm gonna remind you. I don't know what your reaction is going to be. You're probably going to freak out laughing.
Really?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, freak out laughing. Okay.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Did y'all see the Harley Quinn movie though? That was really good.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
And I can't. Well, I know you saw it because we watched it.
It's
together.
actually the last thing I saw in theaters before going into theaters stopped being
really?
a thing.
Yeah, right. But like, I
that's
love
when
how
I
like so
saw
much of the
theater
plot happened because of an egg sandwich.
It looked like a good egg sandwich too. I would have.
I've made that exact egg sandwich too, and it is good.
Yeah,
I still
honestly,
haven't
the high point for me of that movie was the hyena.
I named him Bruce after that hunky Wayne guy.
My favorite part is the cocaine power up sequence.
Yeah, that was a great one.
I think my favorite part is just like the whole the ending when Black Canary does the sonic scream and like and you see Harley Quinn shooting forward on her roller skates with her fingers in her ears. That was like the funniest visual.
Yeah, Harley Quinn was honestly a super good movie. It
That
was
was
like
so good, yeah.
it made up for Suicide Squad.
Did you see the trailer for the new Suicide Squad movie?
I had not.
It looks like it might be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't look bad at all.
Well, if I'm being real with you, I'm a little bit over, DC movies. It feels to me like WB doesn't really understand what
Well, I mean,
comic book movies were.
I don't know. Like, I mean, like you liked Aquaman, you liked Shazam, you liked Wonder Woman, right? I know you haven't seen the new Wonder Woman, but you liked Harley Quinn. Like, those
Yeah,
are kinda, like,
I think
all
my
the most
point is
recent
that they keep
ones.
getting Zack Snyder work.
Well, I mean, he hasn't worked on any of these in a while. Like, and I know the Snyder Cut is out there, and eventually I'm going to make time to sit and watch this for 4 hours, especially since I have heard it's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not like super concerned about that. I'm excited for the Black Adam movie after seeing the cast.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta say, Shazam was super good. Katie, April, and I, we all watched that. What was that? Back in December?
I think so. Yeah, it was around Christmas.
Shazam's a great movie, like to show kids too. Like it's like, yeah, okay, there was one part that was like a little fucked up, but like it was like a pretty good family superhero movie.
Yeah, and it's super funny too. I mean, the
Yeah.
part that really gets me every time is when he's on the run from Dr. Zavana, and they go through a toy store, and he grabs the Batman doll and throws it, and it's like, "Go get him, Batman!" And the Batman doll's like, "I'm Batman."
I'm Batman. That was ad-libbed by Zachary Levi too.
That's great.
Yeah. Get a Batman. I'm Batman.
Yeah, I honestly, okay, you're not wrong that DC's
Kyle,
been
you
hitting
could
it out
just
of the park
talk.
lately, but I feel like that's more been a matter of, WB has been putting some really good people on the project, but I feel like WB and the company still doesn't understand what makes comic book movies work. It's like they're just throwing.
I think they're starting to get it. I
Maybe
think they're starting to get it because
I feel like I feel like things started turning a corner with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, definitely. Well, no, not even because Wonder Woman was almost like a fluke. I think things started turning a quarter with Aquaman because that was post Justice League. Because Justice League was a fucking mess. They interfered so much with it, and they got one big Joss Whedon of a mess.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you.
We gotta catch it. You gotta start.
I'm totally expecting the Snyder Cut of Justice League to be a disaster.
I've heard nothing but good things so far, but I'll let you know when I watch it what my opinion is. But
okay. See, the thing is, I'm distrust.
But speaking of really long watches, that we have to for movie night, we have to watch WandaVision.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, I do want to see WandaVision, but I think the part of why I don't trust the good reviews of Justice League Snyder Cut is because Snyder fans I don't trust anything Snyder fans like, because...
Well, it's not just the Snyder fans, though. It's like in general. Like, if you look at the difference in the two... And I'm going to bring up Rotten Tomatoes right now just to give you the disparity here between the two versions. It's a lot.
I guess what I'm saying is that there seem to be a lot of Snyder fans in nerd culture, and I figured out why. they're the same people who like Elon Musk. Zack Snyder and the Elon Musk are movie makers.
That's okay. That's not entirely inaccurate. Okay, so the original Justice League got 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Zack Snyder's Justice League is at 71%. And keep in mind, this is film critics who don't necessarily like Zack Snyder.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess it's good then. I mean, that's my takeaway. But I'll watch it.
That's a pretty substantial improvement. That's enough of an improvement to at least give it a shot.
It's 31% difference.
Yeah, I
That's
think
big.
I'd be willing to sit down with it, but we would have to like do
Well, it's broken into chapters, so
yeah, we could either split
probably
it
watch
up
half and
or
half.
find some. Well, we could find some way to make it work.
But yeah, but we got it. We got to do WandaVision.
Yeah,
sure.
we gotta do WandaVision because I want to see WandaVision.
And I'm waiting. I haven't seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet. I know there's like 2-3 episodes that I'm waiting until I can binge it. But I've heard good things about that too.
Yeah.
That's only 6 episodes.
Uh,
I mean, yeah. But I mean, I guess you could always count on Marvel to kill it lately.
yeah, Marvel usually does a good job, except when they give Joss Whedon work.
It's true though.
I mean, even the movies he did were good.
Well, the first Avengers has like this charm to it that you can't take away from it. But the second one, like, I didn't like as much. And here's the thing, like, as soon as I saw the Avengers movies that the Russo brothers did, it made me retroactively dislike the first two.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay,
well,
okay.
that's what it should have been, you know?
That's fair, but I mean, I feel like we're still grading on a curve of Marvel movies where like what are the worst few, like
Well,
Iron Man 2.
I mean,
I like
Avengers
Iron
2,
Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is probably like, I think Avengers 2 is the weakest one. Iron Man 2 is like right there too, but they're still decent movies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by
know?
grading on a curve. They're still like the worst of this batch is still
Yeah.
completely watchable.
But
Decent.
like it pisses me off when you look at like how good Avengers could have been
Yeah, that's fair.
if
that's
if
fair.
somebody who didn't write for Buffy the Vampire Slayer was making it.
But I mean, you got to try for when you have this many works going at once. You got to try a bunch of things, and not all of them are. You can't
Oh,
maintain
well, yeah.
consistency in creative works like that.
Well, see, what interesting is that when the first Avengers came, like everybody loved it. It got really good reviews, and I was just like, yeah, it's good. I wasn't as fawning over it as everybody else was. I didn't think it was like the greatest movie of all time. And eventually it sort of clicked with me where I was kind of like, okay, I see what everybody's saying. I see why everybody loves it. But that was like right before Infinity War came out. As soon as I saw Infinity War, I was just like, why didn't they just do this? Why did I have to watch Black Widow complain about how she's a monster because she can't have children?
they had to edge us
God.
for another couple years.
That was such a Zack Snyder thing, and it.
But no, it
No,
was a
it's
Joss
funny.
Whedon
It
thing
makes
is
me
what it
think
was.
of. It makes me think of that conversation we had last night about Team Ninja, about how Team Ninja had problems with women to make Atlas look feminist.
Yeah. See now, I was like, we should have known about Team Ninja though, when you think about it. And like somebody said, well, the Ninja Gaiden games are only a little bit misogynistic, and I was like, did you play Ninja Gaiden Z? It was pretty much women, am I right? The video game.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about Joss Whedon now is, if you look at the way he treated Black Widow in that film, and the way he treats the female characters in general, it just blows my mind that there are still people out there who think he's some sort of feminist icon.
Well, okay, it's because he writes, and I put this in quotes, strong female characters. But his idea of a strong female character is still a fetish specifically for him.
Exactly.
That's the
It's like,
issue, and it's super obvious.
it is so obvious, and I have hated Joss Whedon for years for a variety of reasons, but
For a variety of reasons that are all Alien Resurrection.
no, I hate him for other reasons too. But
Yeah, but that is still a variety of reasons.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Anyway,
Yeah, with those feet, you ain't kicking shit.
anyway, so I will. But like I said, I've hated Joss Whedon for years, and I personally, no, I even in my slightly chuddier days, I realized how much of a fake he was. It's like I
Yeah.
called him out on how much of a fake he was, and it, now, now it's like, well, it turns
But
out
you know,
he's a
you've
total
been
creep and a
vindicated
bit of
so
a
many
sex
times
pest.
about stuff like this too. Like you were like just to not, and I don't want to get into it because I know we got to end soon, but like the whole CD Project Red thing. I mean, how vindicated do you feel about hating The Witcher and CD Project Red when it came out that there was fascist propaganda sitting there in Cyberpunk 2077? You've been saying this shit for years.
Yeah, and nobody listened to me, and people still don't listen to me, but at least I'm right.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
Well, we listen to
It.
you.
I was gonna say, does it matter if nobody listens to you?
Yeah. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
How dare you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Yeah, so, I do feel vindicated looking at Josh Whedon of, all the. It's coming out that he's, a creep and a bit of a sex pest, and I'm just like, oh, well, there's a fucking sucker.
Wait, and a racist too.
Yeah, oh,
Let's not
absolutely,
forget
total
that.
racist. Oh,
Let's
speaking
not
of
forget that.
racist, I've been hearing some shit about Jeff Johns lately.
Yeah,
Who is that?
Barrel mentioned something about Jeff Johns, and I hadn't heard anything specifically, but what was it?
It was something to do with, Ray Fisher. Um,
Oh, yeah, okay, so apparently it's all related to the Joss Whedon thing, and that apparently it wasn't so much that he was racist specifically, but that he basically told Ray Fisher not to go to the press or anything about Joss Whedon being a racist.
yeah.
And I get that he's trying to protect like the movie and the franchise and everything, but like no, if your director is being a racist piece of shit, people need to know about that.
I agree. But, yeah, honestly, though, there's a lot of racism in the comic book industry.
Yeah.
Let's just be real here. I feel like that has been intentionally cultivated by the comic book industry because I've noticed that over the last 20 years, the comic book industry has been, actually, it's been longer than that. It's got to be over the last 30. The comic book industry has been filled with people who grew up on comics in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And these guys are almost to a man, and I do emphasize man, they're a
Man.
bunch
Yeah.
of white dudes.
You
And
notice that whenever we're disappointed we say man.
oh my god, that reminds me. Years ago, when I was in summer camp, it's sort of a day camp, I guess. I was at that certain age where I would say, "Oh man," and so one of
Yeah.
the counselors came to me and okay, so you're always saying stuff like, "Oh man, who's the man?" And I'm just like, probably your dad.
Oh, snap. Okay, and to address like what Evie was talking about Jeff Johns and everything, and like how he's not even really white. Yeah, like I said, it's not specifically that Jeff Johns was being racist. It was that Ray Fisher was pushing back about the line where at the end of Justice League where he says "booyah," and Jeff Johns' whole point was, well, that's Cyborg's thing. That's like his catchphrase. He says it in the comics. He says it in the cartoon. Everybody expects Cyborg to say "booyah" because Cyborg says "booyah." And Ray Fisher's point is, well, why does he have to? Is it because he's the black guy? And that's a good point. Like, why does he have to be like what's next? Dynamite? I mean,
Yeah,
just because it's a tradition, and I know that Jeff Johns loves to jerk off to the Silver Age, but that doesn't mean it has to continue.
You have to question stuff like that, or at
Yeah,
least it's like
definitely.
yeah. I
Definitely.
mean, it's just part of why I started reading comics is because of how stagnant it's become. Because it's all a bunch of guys looking off of the Silver Age.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with liking the Silver Age and the whimsy and everything
Oh,
of it, but
absolutely
like,
not. I
but
mean, I love some of the stuff out of the Silver Age.
there's
Although,
trash in there. You know what I mean? There's some trash. It's sort of like Cuphead. Like they were taking, like this style of the 30s cartoons, and somebody said, "Yeah, but the 30s cartoons were really racist." And the two guys who made Cuphead were like, "Yeah, but we're not doing that part."
I feel like there's an argument to be made that you can't really take the racist legacy out of 30s cartoons. They're
They
basically
did it though.
insufferable. I'm not sure I agree with that assessment, but I understand where it's coming from because I've also heard
Yeah,
people say
because
the same
you could
thing
like a
about.
style of animation without liking what people did with it.
Yeah, it's like I don't really agree with the stance, but I see where it's coming from because like, it's coming from the same place that suggests, you can't really separate cosmic horror from the racism of the people who helped create the genre back in the 20s and 30s.
Well, I think you can. It's just nobody's bothered to actually do that yet.
Yeah, it's like like I said, I don't really agree with it, but I sort of see the logic in that. If you look at cosmic horror, so much of it is about fear of the unknown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, H.P. Lovecraft was a huge xenophobe. And,
Yeah.
but a lot of that was because the motherfucker never left his house.
Well, I mean, this is a guy who had a panic attack when he found out one of his relatives was Welsh.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're talking about this potato head here.
Can you imagine, like, H.P. Lovecraft's cousin or whatever, like, oh, you're right then, mate. I say, I heard you read some books. They're quite tidy.
Never do that again.
And he's just, like, crying. And I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Are you all right then?
You got a lot of practice with that Welsh accent and Nino Cooney.
Well,
huh?
because I played Nino Cooney, and yeah, doing that for Mr. Drippy was a lot of fun. And I love it. Everybody in the chat was like, "Oh, that's a great Scottish accent." I'm like, it's Welshman.
I mean,
That's a lot of the difference.
people don't know the difference if they haven't been exposed to.
That's
to
true.
20 years of this. 20 years.
Hey, no, this is
right up your bum, man.
this is good material. No.
Well, that's how you know it's good material, because June starts saying 20 years of this shit. I have to go. I dropped the bottle cap and Gibbs just sort of snuck it across the room, so I got to go retrieve it from him.
Oh,
And I'm
well,
gonna go to the bathroom.
that seems like as good a cue as any
Real-
to start wrapping up.
Real quick before we stop, did you see what EB posted?
Did I see what?
The link that EB put in chat.
Let me see here. Oh, that URL is
Mark Hamill
Oh,
confirms
that-
Luke Skywalker is gay. I hope Chuds are big mad about this.
Oh my god. Can you imagine One Angle Gamer's reacting to this? He could have a heart attack.
I hope so.
Me too. I hope someone films it. Someone film it and put it up on YouTube. I want to see his evil black heart giving out. And he's just going, ah. Yeah, so that is entertaining news. I really
I hope Mark Hamill's one of the good ones. Mark Hamill knows what's up.
yeah. Mark Hamill is
All right, I'm back, man.
Did you see the link that EB posted in chat?
What about Luke Skywalker's?
Yes. Yeah.
Or Mark? Well, I mean, yeah, like Mark Hamill is like the wholesome troll we all need in our lives.
yeah.
And
Remember when he did
people
his
started
Joker
freaking
voice?
out about the idea that Luke Skywalker might not be straight, his answer on Twitter was initially, sure, why not? And when more people freaked out about it, he leaned into it harder and harder.
That's so good. I love it.
Remember when he read out Trump tweets in Joker's voice?
Oh my god.
That
Was the most amazing thing. I was hoping that it was only one tweet. I was hoping there'd be more.
I think he did like a couple.
Merry Christmas to everybody, including all my enemies. I almost wish that like I know that Trump's banned from Twitter, but I'm almost wish that we could still view all those tweets so I can go through them and do that.
Just give him a bunch of
Because
there's always a tweet.
And
Okay,
Go
okay.
back
that
to
reminds
before.
me.
I'm sure, yeah.
That reminds me. So I've been thinking at some point in the future, a few years from now, I was going to like record a playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. But you know how I did all the voice acting for it last year? I was thinking we should
Yeah.
get a bunch of people to just voice act the whole script.
Sweet. So like
But that makes
a
me
good
think, what
version
if I
of what
did?
Fake Name did. A good version of what Fake Name did.
Yeah, exactly. And but then I got to thinking, you just made me think, what if I did that with Final Fantasy VI and you
It,
played Kefka?
so, you know what? And I offered to play Kafka for him, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to play Kafka." I was like, "Well, let me hear your Kafka voice," and it was literally this: "Yeah, I'm Kafka." Nah,
I
why, nah.
I still need to play through Final Fantasy VII.
Well,
So,
we're talking
June,
about
if that ever does become a thing,
we're talking about 6 though.
I mean,
I
you
know.
need to
I'm
play
saying
through a
if you
Final
ever wanted
Fantasy
to do it for
period.
7 and just join me for whenever I get to my 7 stream, we can make that happen.
I would play. I would probably play a few characters for you, but I absolutely call dibs on Kafka.
Okay, who would I play?
Who would you
You?
play? We're still talking Final Fantasy VI, right?
Yes.
You're Cyan, for one.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
was
Cyan,
thinking that too.
absolutely Cyan, but also Setzer,
Oh,
and
okay. So I don't know.
and quite possibly Mog.
I would okay. I pick Gao.
Oh yes, you're
Alright.
Gal.
I
Oh,
Totally.
don't-
absolutely.
I don't know any of the characters in 6. So if I was a character
Okay.
in 6, who would I be?
Realm?
Sabin.
Sabin. Yeah, Sabin.
Sabin.
Oh, who's
Sabin
Edward?
and Edgar would be
Yeah,
Kyle, I
yeah.
think, because they're brothers. So
I could see that.
Yeah, let's be real here.
I'll do Locke.
Yeah, Locke. We need
I'll do
someone for
Locke.
Terra though.
Oh man.
April could probably do Terra.
Yeah, April.
Yeah, I could see that.
She has a great voice for Terra. Who would play Celis though? That's a difficult one to pin down.
If I worked on my voice a bit, I could.
You
do
probably
it.
could. I mean, we're talking about recording everything, right? Not doing
Yeah.
it live. I mean, I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
pitch shift you.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question: Which
Easily.
script would we use? Would we use the original Super Nintendo
Game Boy
script?
Advance. Game Boy Advance. Come on. Not even a question.
Okay. Cause we have 3 scripts. We had the Super Nintendo script, the Game Boy Advance script, and the fan translation of 6.
The fan translation is great, but it's just like, why not just use the Game Boy Advance script?
I
You know?
have a couple of reasons why I don't like the DBA version. A lot of it had to do
Okay.
with the sound. I'm not a fan of it.
Well, we're talking about the script here.
Yeah, that's true. But if we were going to record, if we were going to
There's hacks
record,
that make it. There's hacks that use the Super Nintendo
okay, that's fair.
soundtrack.
Yeah, that's
You know what, EB? There's a few characters you could play.
Yeah, EB could we
Totally.
could pick some characters for EB.
EB could be Realm. EB could be Realm.
Yeah, Star could do a character.
No, this is a great idea. I mean, but yeah,
I
I just want to read this Trump tweet though already. We are up big, but they're trying to steal the election. We'll never let them do it. Votes cannot be cast after the polls are closed.
Okay, and on that note, I think we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, I gotta set up for Uno.
Yeah, so here's if everybody wants to chill a little bit, go right ahead. We'll start with Kitty.
Hi, I'm Darkling Kitty. You can find me Thursday through Sunday at twitch.tv/DarklingKitty. I'm a variety streamer. Yeah. I wasn't ready mentally for this, but I'm a big tryhard. I like to play hard games and then
Kitty
beat them.
plays the try hard games, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
and fighting games.
And fighting games is just a try hard game against another person.
That's true.
I love
Oh,
you,
you
Kitty.
missed my King of Fighters 11 stream though. You gotta like catch the VOD, Kitty.
Oh shit! Okay, I will.
That
I
was
actually
intense.
managed to beat. I actually managed to beat Magagi 3 times.
Nice.
That freaking input reading hooker.
And on that note, John, if you want to show yourself.
I'm NecroVMX. You can find me on Twitch every single day. I am a variety streamer as well, although I have a fondness mostly for JRPGs, platform games, first-person shooters, and Metroidvanias. Also fighting games on Mondays. And you can find me on my Discord tonight where we'll be playing Uno because everybody has Uno.
I will provide a
with your
link to the
internet.
Discord real quick. Invite people.
That's in like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
8:30. 8:30.
Oh, you beat my stream deck.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
wasn't ready for that.
yeah. And Kyle, if you want to show yourself, go right ahead.
All right, so I'm Kyle, aka tsparkle99. You can find me at twitch.tv/tsparkle99. Currently, I don't have a set schedule, but I mostly play games in the evenings, and I do a lot of charity events for Boston Children's Hospital through Extra Life. And I like to play a lot of different games, mostly RPGs, adventure games, and the occasional shooter, but I also do some speed runs of some older games that not many people care about, or some games that are heavily RNG based because I hate myself sometimes.
Well,
Don't we
love you
all?
anyway.
I'm a big tryhard, and some of the stuff you do speedrunning, I don't know if I don't think I have that
I'm
patience.
just like, life's too short for that.
Life is not too short to speedrun Mario Party 7 multiple times.
Yeah,
And
Life
Rugrats
is
in Paris.
yeah, life's too short for Rugrats in Paris.
yeah. And for me, life is too short to not stage scrum my way through Mega Man 2.
There you go.
Okay.
Man, all of
There's no point in stealing my shot because it's my fucking channel. So we're just gonna go over to the schedule.
Do it anyway. Do it anyway.
I mean,
All right.
the schedule
Well,
is basically
you
killing
are
people.
listening
Oh,
to.
okay.
You are
Fair,
listening to.
fair.
You're listening to Gloom and June. I'm June Gloom. It's just it's your first time listening to us, or your first time to the channel. I stream a variety of different games. I stream 3 days a week. I stream everything from JRPGs to first-person shooter to platformer to retro games, all kinds of stuff. And you're about to find out what I'm about to play in the next week or so. So let's start with Friday is Fun Friday for Darkland Kitty. So you want to go over to Darkland Kitty's channel because we're going to be playing Stardew Valley. And then
It's
come
mostly going
back
to be
on...
me. The point of view is mostly going to be me in the dungeon, but
Yeah. Yeah, and then
That's hot.
Saturday, I will be coming back with Half-Life. So you'll want to be here for that. And then Sunday, we will be finishing Thief 2. When I say finishing, I mean we will be finishing it because I don't care how long it takes. I want to get it done. Because after that, I want to start on Demon Soul. And then Tuesday is Mega Man Classic. We will be finishing that up with Mega Man 6. And then we're going to switch over to something else for a little while. And then I'm going to come back after that and do the rest of the Mega Man Classic series. So you will want to be here for that because I'm going to be cursing my way through Mega Man 6. Anyway,
Mega Man 6 is a lot of fun, though.
yeah, it is a great game. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Kitty, I just sent you a clip.
I see it. I've already got it open. I'm ready.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being such a great audience. It's been a great show this month. Well, last month, whatever. We got another one coming up at the end of April. I don't have a specific date schedule thing set up for that, but it's coming at the end of April because that's kind of what we do here. Let's go over here and talk about raids. Who do we have?
No,
to
she's asleep.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. We need a couple. Let's see. I'm waiting for Twitch to load up. We have a couple of options. Punky will do playing Dragon Quest 11.
There are people that are watching that on my streams, and PhD's a little further than I am.
Okay.
So the spoiler reasons, I would recommend not.
Okay. The other options I have is Elizabeth is playing Monster Hunter Rise, but I think Kitty doesn't want to be spoiled on that.
Oh no, I don't care about being spoiled. I've been watching videos since before the game came out.
I think the only real option here is Phoenix 169. So let's
That's
go
what
ahead
I was
and
gonna
raise Phoenix
suggest.
169. who is currently playing through Fallout New Vegas, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a decent Fallout game. We need a raid call. What's a good raid call we can do?
Joker here. You mean I saved up all these bottle caps and then they're gonna cancel the game? Something like that. I don't know. Did you watch that clip, Kitty?
Not yet. I was
Okay.
waiting for post stream.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. I just like watch it like 3 times with the sound off, and I'm just like still hype about that moment. And Gibbs making that appearance.
Alright. That's a raid call. Let's go raid. Make sure I have the name right. Okay. Yeah, 169. And away we go. Okay, you all have a great rest of your night.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
Listen, everybody here better have a great rest of their night, or I'll ruin it.
I'm going to go ahead and hit that raid button in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
You have
5,
Uno, you twit.
4, 3, 2,
72.
1.
12.
Blammo.
1 million.
8.
14. Pi.
Whoa.